I blamed me, and then I felt really sad that humans can be that way.
Illusion Millan, the ex-wife of the notable dog behaviorist, has finally broken her silence after Cesar Millan's alleged sentence due to numerous lawsuits filed against him. Why did Illusion finally decide to speak the truth? Was it to support Millan or to spite him? Join us as we take you through the whole truth behind the story. Before we do that, let us take you through Cesar Millan's dog training techniques and the lawsuits that were filed against him. Body Cesar dog training techniques. Cesar Millan is a Mexican-American dog trainer and canine behaviorist who is widely known for his popular reality television series Dog Whisperer with Cesar Millan, which was produced for about 8 years, from 2004 to 2012, and has been broadcast in more than 80 countries, gathered millions of views worldwide. If it is appropriate to call him the king of dogs, then he deserves that title because of how well he understands dogs and their behavior. Cesar has built a career spanning over 25 years in dog training and breeding. He is not only known for his on-screen exploits. His works include books, DVDs, and a wide range of dog products that testify to his status. His training techniques have garnered considerable attention from fans, critics, and even governing bodies. To Millan, training dogs with his own techniques focuses on handling a dog with what he calls calm, assertive energy. He believes that every dog owner should establish their role as calm, assertive pack leaders, which will help them form a bond with the dogs. Millan went on to describe that dogs have 3 primary needs, which are exercise, discipline, and affection, in that order. To further explain this, he meant that every dog owner has the responsibility to fulfill the dog's energy level needs through challenging exercises, then to provide clearly communicated rules, boundaries, and limitations, and finally to provide affection. The bone of contention here is that if he is truly about the dog's welfare, why then was he being criticized and getting sued for that? We will find out more about this later, so keep watching to find out. Millan's TV programs educate dog owners on rehabilitation and his dog handling philosophy. He has always said that his goal in rehabilitating dogs and training people is to create balanced relationships between humans and canines. The New York Times attributed Millan's success to his personal sense of balance, describing this as a sort of uber-balanced mean in 2009. In some cases, dogs with severe behavioral problems are taken to Millan's Dog Psychology Center for an extended period of more intensive rehabilitation. The programs are not intended as dog training guides, and each episode contains repeated warnings that viewers should not try the behavior modification techniques at home without the guidance of a professional. Despite several warnings from the program episode, many dogs tried these techniques out, and then later blamed Millan when they didn't get the anticipated results. Millan often uses vocal marks, gestures, and body language to communicate with dogs rather than speech or the dog's name while working with the dog. He encourages owners to create their own unique sound that works for them. He believes that dogs sense, understand, and respond to a person's energy more easily than their speech. Millan's favorite dog, Daddy, was an American Pit Bull Terrier, which was integrated into his work and his television series, The Dog Whisperer. Millan later selected another Pit Bull puppy, Junior, as Daddy's apprentice to learn his temperament and prepare to assume Daddy's role after his death. Daddy died at age 16 in February 2010, and his death caused Millan to be devastated, which made him do something crazy. We will discuss more on this later in the video. After the death of Daddy, Junior took over Daddy's role and helped Millan with rehabilitating dogs by using what Millan refers to as calm, assertive energy. Many of his training techniques landed him in lawsuits and criticism. How did this happen? Let us check them out. Cesar Millan's criticism and lawsuits. Every career isn't without its own challenges, as Cesar Millan faced criticism and has been sued numerous times despite how much he was loved by many people. According to a January 2007 article in the Indian scientific journal Current Science, many professional Indian dog trainers find Millan's training methods outdated, flawed, unscientific, and inhumane. They criticize the methods that Millan calls calm submission, in reality as a state of helplessness that is the result of adverse dog training techniques. Malcolm Gladwell, writing in The New Yorker, said the critics were responding to the highly edited version of Millan's approach shown on television, which exaggerates the frequency and intensity that he uses when he disciplines the dogs. When Millan appeared on the Alan Titchmarsh show in October 2012, Titchmarsh called his methods cruel and unnecessary, citing a video in which Titchmarsh said, "Millan punched a dog in the throat." Millan called it a touch, not a punch. Titchmarsh read out an RSPCA statement saying that adverse training techniques which have been seen to be used by Cesar Millan can cause pain and fear for dogs and may worsen their behavioral problems. Not only have his training techniques become controversial and criticized, but his dog treatment method was condemned by the American Humane Association in March 26. They responded to complaints about an episode on a National Geographic reality television series, stating that the treatment of the animals did not meet their guidelines for the safe use of animals in filmed media. Following the airing of his popular TV show, Cesar 911, in which a dog being trained by Cesar Millan attacked and injured a pig, the American Veterinary Society of Animal Behavior published a response in 2016 stating that when the problem behavior involves a negative reaction to another animal, attempting to elicit the bad behavior so it can be corrected is not only ineffective, it puts the target animal at risk of injury. Such training methods are unacceptable. Along with this criticism, Cesar Millan also faced lawsuits in which the person who filed it demanded outrageous prices. His first lawsuit came in 2006 when he was sued by a television producer who alleged his dog was choked and forced to run on a treadmill at Milan's Dog Psychology Center. In 2015, Millan was sued again by a Florida nurse after she was attacked by a dog that Millan had released from his Dog Psychology Center earlier that week. The most known lawsuit filed against him that almost got him into jail was in 2021 when gymnast Lydia Matisse sued Millan, alleging that she had been attacked by his dog Junior in 2017 when she went to visit her mom, who worked for Millan at his training facility. She also claimed that Millan was liable because Junior had previously bitten other people and attacked other dogs, as well as Queen Latifah's dog, so he should have known that Junior was dangerous. Junior mauled one of QL's dogs to death, and Millan covered up the incident by telling his staff that they were to tell the actress that her dog was hit and killed by a car, Matisse said. This incident occurred over 4 years ago, and Matisse demanded $850,000 from Millan. According to legal documents, Matisse said that the dog was unsupervised and unleashed when he began to attack her, biting her numerous times on the legs. When she arrived at an emergency room after the incident, her injuries were severe. The athlete claims the occurrence also stopped her from later competing in her sport due to pain from injuries she has suffered both physically and emotionally. Matisse also alleged that Millan was aware of his dog's violent tendencies, but still allowed him to go without a leash. Millan publicly denied these claims and called that accusation a blatant lie. His legal rep wrote in a statement obtained by People, "As everyone knows, Cesar Millan is one of the world's most prominent dog training experts. Over his extraordinary career, Mr. Millan has fostered and helped literally thousands of behaviorally troubled animals' dogs, often with dogs at risk of being put down." Matisse was well aware of this while visiting Millan's training facility and repeatedly returned to his property and ranch after the incident. It was speculated that Cesar Millan was being sentenced, but the lawsuit was later settled out of court. Who is Cesar Millan's wife? What was her reaction to these lawsuits and Cesar Millan's alleged sentence? Cesar Millan's wife's reaction to his alleged sentence illusion. Millan has always been known to support Cesar throughout their marriage. Even based on the fact that his work comes with lots of criticism, she did the underground job for Millan Company, which they both ran together. Illusion Millan became famous for being the ex-wife of the celebrity dog behavioralist, and since then, she has lived a successful professional life. She began her career in 2004 when she worked together with her husband for his company, Cesar Millan Inc. Illusion helped her then-husband in ventures outside of his TV show, which included speaking engagements, executive leadership seminars, and other works. She assisted in several campaigns promoting animal health and rights, and also raised awareness about dog problems and other issues at the time. Despite the challenges and criticism they faced, Illusion has always refurbished her husband's public image by saying that Milan is not trying to cause any harm, but wants people to understand their relationship with their pet dogs and how they can effectively train them. However, after many years of being together, she noticed that he was too attached to his dogs and didn't even have time for his family. She decided to call it quits, and they ended their marriage in 2010. During the period of his numerous lawsuits, Illusion had been divorced from him many years before, but she kept mute because she had kept her personal life private and didn't want to be involved with him again. However, it was speculated that she finally broke her silence after many years of keeping quiet. Her alleged reaction to Milan's lawsuits was to tell the world the truth about Milan's intention and not to spite him. It was reported that Illusion allegedly said that Cesar has always been known to understand dogs' behavioral acts, which is why he is trying to create a balance between the human and dog relationship. Any lawsuits alleging that he intentionally knew that his dog could harm humans were obviously a lie, and they were just trying to extort him. She further went on to say that even though she and Cesar Millan are no longer together as a married couple, she has known him right from her late teenage years before they got married. So, Cesar was only trying to explore his passion and philosophy for dogs with good intent and not trying to create a wild breed of dogs that could harm any human. Despite their divorce, they have maintained their relationship in raising their 2 sons. Now that we know what the wife of Cesar said, let us briefly check out her life. The beautiful ex-wife of Cesar, Illusion Millan, also known as Illusion Wilson, was born on September 18, 1976 in the United States, to American-Mexican parents. Growing up, Illusion was known to be exceptional in her academics, as she did well in school. She attended a local school in her hometown and was later admitted into the Pacific Oaks College, where she completed her Bachelor of Arts in Human Development, Family Studies, and Related Services. Furthering her education, she completed her master's degree in clinical psychology from Pepperdine University in 2018. Pictures from her graduation day were posted by her on her Facebook page. After completing her master's education in clinical psychology in 2018, she switched to an entirely different profession, working as a psychotherapist at Counseling Partners of Los Angeles. One interesting thing about Illusion Millan was that she never married after her divorce from Cesar for 2010, whereas Cesar started dating months after. Also, there are no reports about her being involved in any romantic relationships, although some news outlets speculated that she is keeping it a secret. Following her split from her ex-husband, Illusion is living a beautiful life away from the limelight, focusing solely on her career and children. As of 2025, she is 47 years old, and she lives together with her kids in Los Angeles. Well, Illusion Millan is pretty active on social media like Instagram and Facebook, but unfortunately, she has kept her Instagram, where she goes by Illusion Millan Wilson, private. Undoubtedly, Illusion has amassed a decent net worth from her professional career, as well as alimony and spousal support, as a result of her divorce from Cesar Millan. She receives about $23,000 as spousal support and another $10,000 as child support from her husband, which also adds up to her wealth. Besides, she also received around $400,000 in alimony at the time of her divorce, so her net worth was speculated to be over $500,000 in 2025. We will be discussing more on the main reason for their divorce later in the video. What was the early life of the dog whisperer, and how did he become well known in his career? Let us check it out. Cesar Millan. Cesar Millan was born Cesar Felipe Millan Favela on August 27, 1969, to Felipe Millan Guillen and Maria Teresa Favela in rural Culiacan, Sinaloa, Mexico. Growing up, Millan worked on Teodoro Millan Angulo, his grandfather's farm in Sinaloa. As he spent his childhood surrounded by farm animals, he began to develop a soft spot and likeness for them, most especially dogs, and he was called El Perrero, the dog herder, because of his natural ways with dogs. His family later moved to Mazatlan. All through his teenage and early adult years, Millan struggled to survive because his family wasn't financially buoyant. In a bid to find a greener pasture, He illegally crossed the border into the United States with only $100 when he was 21 years old. At that time, he couldn't speak English, and this made communication difficult for him. Millan described this period of his life as a harrowing journey, as this experience made him suffer from the risk of being robbed and even killed. So he let the U.S. police catch him several times, as he was then well fed, while Mexican police didn't feed the people they caught at the border. His career. Millan's first job in the United States was at a dog grooming store, and he also worked as a limousine driver. It was in this job that he met Jada Pinkett Smith, who later became one of his best friends. Jada set him up with an English teacher, paying for a year of lessons. Within a couple of years, Millan pursued his dream of working with dogs. He went on to create his Dog Psychology Center and then the Pacific Point Canine Academy, which Jada Pinkett Smith became one of his first clients and supporters. The Dog Psychology Center is a 2-acre facility in South Los Angeles that specializes in working with large breed dogs. He became famous through what he did, and in 2002 he was interviewed by the Los Angeles Times. This brought him a media connection with MPH Entertainment, Inc., where he worked and developed a television pilot for Dog Whisperer. This was a reality television series that follows Millan as he works in the field of dog rehabilitation. The show premiered on September 13, 2004, on the National Geographic Channel and was a hit in more than 20 countries around the world. It subsequently moved to the Nat Geo Wild channel, which increased its visibility. During its first season, it became the #1 National Geographic show and was broadcast in more than 80 countries worldwide. After running for about 8 years, the final episode of the show was broadcast in the U.S. on September 15, 2012, but was revived in 2014. On the show, Cesar worked with his dog named Daddy, which was previously owned by Redman, the rapper famous for his duo with Christina Aguilera in her single Dirty. In 2009, the Dog Psychology Center moved to Santa Clarita, California. Millan also opened an East Coast clinic at the Country Inn Pet Resort in Davie, Florida, near Fort Lauderdale. That same year, Millan introduced a monthly magazine titled Cesar's Way, in conjunction with IMG and the Wall Street Journal, which reported that half of American consumers recognized Millan at that time. The magazine combined advice from Millan, along with articles about the relationship between dogs and humans. About 6 years later, the magazine ceased publication due to its November-December 2014 issue. Millan then began developing new documentary television series like Cesar Millan's Leader of the Pack, aired on the Nat Geo Wild channel from January 5 to March 26, 2013. The next one was the Cesar 911, which premiered in 2014 on Nat Geo Wild, which Cesar executively produced. In non-American markets, it is known as Cesar to the Rescue. In 2015, he teamed up with children's television veterans Sid and Marty Krofft to create Mutt and Stuff, a preschool television show for the Nickelodeon channel, and his second son, Calvin, featured in the series. 2 years later, Millan and his older son, Andre, appeared in a new series, Cesar Millan's Dog Nation, in 2017, which ran for just 1 season. Among Cesar's projects, the notable ones include the Cesar's Way magazine, which was launched in 2009, his Cesar Millan Live, which was a lecturing center, and the new dog show, Cesar Millan's Dog Nation, which has aired on the Nickelodeon channel since 2015. Cesar Millan Live is an international touring dog training lecture and stage performance in which Millan presents his techniques and philosophy from his television shows and books in front of a live audience. The show consists of a half lecture and a half demonstration with local shelter dogs, in which he uses his pack leader training techniques to modify negative behaviors. Aside from his own shows, Cesar Millan also appeared as a guest star in the popular series Ghost Whisperer. He featured in one of the episodes of the show as himself, while the character of Jennifer Love Hewitt sought the help of a dog instructor in another case she had to deal with. Cesar Millan began writing books in 2007, and he has written several books on dog instructing with his co-author, Melissa Jo Peltier. Some of his successful publications include Cesar's Way, The Natural, Everyday Guide to Understanding and Correcting Common Dog Problems in 2007, Be the Pack Leader. Use Cesar's Way to Transform Your Dog and Your Life in 2008, and Cesar Millan's Lessons from the Pack. Stories of the Dogs Who Changed My Life in 2017. As of 2025, Cesar Millan has an estimated net worth of over $35 million. Millan marriage to his wife was so close to being perfect before their marital bliss started experiencing troubles. How were they able to manage the situation? Keep watching as we feed your curiosity. His marriage and children. Millan's personal life was without drama at first, but situations changed in later years. He met Illusion in 1993 across an ice rink where he saw her in the crowd. At that time, Illusion was just 17 years old. Soon after their first encounter, they both fell in love and began dating each other, describing their first meeting as love at first sight. After dating for 1 year, they had to wait till Illusion was 18 years old so they could get married. The lovely couple tied the knot in 1994, and their union produced 2 sons, Andre, born in 1995, and Calvin, born in 2001. Soon after their marriage, the former couple moved to Los Angeles and settled there. Things were going on smoothly for them until 2010 when Cesar lost his favorite dog, Papa, also called Dad. The death of Dad, the American Pit Bull Terrier, left Cesar in deep pain, and he fell into depression because of how attached he was to the dog. To make matters worse, he learned that his wife was planning to divorce him during that period. The divorce news came to him as a shock when he was in England. Unable to cope with the 2 significant losses, the dog behaviorist attempted suicide with an overdose of drugs from which he was rescued and hospitalized. However, Illusion eventually filed for divorce that year, and the couple finally ended their almost 2 decades of marital bliss. After their divorce in 2010, many sources claimed that his Illusion was paid a huge sum of $400,000 and a monthly amount of $33,000 to keep the stories about their private life away from the media. The divorce settlement also revealed that she is not supposed to expose any information about their marriage life, sexual relationship, or any other personal details like photos, videos, or other materials. In an old interview with the media, Illusion explained the reason for their divorce, stating that Cesar Millan wasn't a people person and that he had a hard time loving her because he was so attached to his pets. She further explained that after the birth of their first son, she had a gallbladder surgery and Cesar never visited her in the hospital. Even on the day she came back home after the surgery, Cesar was more involved with his dogs than with her. In the same interview, Cesar defended his action, saying that the man's work is to earn money to feed the family. Illusion also stated another reason for their divorce, saying that Cesar was verbally very abusive if he did not get what he wanted. Cesar referred to Illusion as a strong and stubborn woman. Illusion said that he focused on her wrongs in the hope that she would become submissive. After many years of their irreconcilable differences, Illusion left him. Cesar called her back to ask her if they could get back together. She agreed to get back together under one condition, which was marriage counseling. During therapy, Illusion said that she did not want him to treat her like property and claimed that he never said that he loved her. He claimed that she would expect him to be patient and cuddle when she is upset, but she does not do that when he is upset. Cesar said that Illusion is an expert on emotions and encouraged him to move on in his career. On the other hand, Illusion said that her husband broadened her world. Despite their therapy and counseling, Illusion couldn't keep up with Cesar's attitude toward her, and this made her file for the final divorce in 2010. After their divorce, the former couple remained friends and took care of their kids together. Their oldest child, Andre, is a successful actor who has appeared in numerous TV series like Cesar Millan's Dog Nation, Pet Talk, The Doctors, Sidewalks Entertainment, and others. In 2010, Cesar started dating his new girlfriend, Jahir Dar.